Hi, welcome. We shall continue with Ephesians 3, verse 13. And Paul says, "So I ask you not to lose heart over what I am suffering for you, which is your glory." So Paul's been talking about the importance of the gospel, how the mystery has been revealed to us, how we now understand it. And because of what Christ has done, we can have boldness now. We have confidence in Him because of our faith. And now he says, but don't worry about my suffering. Do not lose heart over it because of my suffering. And I think it is amazing to look at suffering that way. I was listening to this book and it was talking about how people exercised faith in various situations and how they overcame their problems and how they could rely on their faith and rely on God, how they could remain faithful. And that was this instance where one of the authors of the book met this person, but the person had already been dying. He had brain cancer. So the brain cancer was killing this individual. They went to doctors, from doctors to doctors. There was nothing they could do. He was going to die. So he had a diary, and then they read the diary after his death. And he put in his diary that, who am I that God would choose me to suffer for his name's sake, to suffer so he could be glorified, that he said that he would be willing to suffer if he knows that it would bring someone closer to God, it would help someone to come to God. And I was thinking, what an amazing faith this person had. Imagine if you could live your life and go through trials and sufferings and say, yes, but if it is your glory, if it is for your glory, if it is to build someone up, if it causes someone to have more faith, if it would bring someone close to you or help someone, then fair enough, fine, let me suffer. Even the Apostle Paul was suffering a lot. I mean, the Acts of the Apostle, Acts 9, he was talking to Ananias. When Jesus was talking to Ananias, he was telling Ananias about the Apostle Paul, and Ananias was against him, saying that yes, but Apostle Paul was persecuting us. And Jesus said, don't worry about it. Look after the Apostle Paul because he will have to suffer for me. And that's what Paul did. Paul was suffering for Christ. Another interesting thing is the name and claim gospel, or the prosperity gospel. If you think about it, they have all these name and claim and prosperity gospels, which says, gospels, pretty much they say that if you name and claim something, you should receive it. If you don't have enough faith. Or if you're suffering, it's because you don't have faith. But it doesn't make sense because Paul was suffering. It doesn't make sense because Job was suffering, even though God said in the beginning, when he proposed the challenge to Satan, he said to challenge that he's a righteous one, you can't find any fault with him. And he wasn't sinless, he was righteous. There's a difference. If somebody is righteous, it means that they've dealt with their sins. They ask for forgiveness for their sins. Pretty much what you and I should do at the end of every day. But I think what we should take away from this, and the most important thing is that if we are suffering, if others feel sorry for us, or if others feel for us or are sad because of the things we are going through, that is my prayer, that you and I should be able to say, do not lose heart over it. I am suffering, but you could be built up so that your faith might increase. Do not worry about it because somehow God is going to be glorified in this. And I'm really hoping that when it comes to a period in our life where we are going to be suffering, that we will be able to say this. Amen.